Hanging around, we've got Kyra in the house. And if we want to start with, do you have one in person that you want to kick it off with? Or if not, I can have them go online. Okay, Tony, go ahead.
Thank you for your time, Kira. Could you go ahead and first of all walk us through that play that ended up tying up that goal and just the emotional side of the game aspect towards the end of obviously the result and performance as well.
Yeah, we start with the goal. So, I mean, you're away. It's a mid-game, a midday game in DC. It's one of the more difficult places to play, um, and coming off the first half and going down early, it's important as a team to like keep that fire, keep that culture within us, keep that fight to go and score. And I think that leading through that second half, there was a lot of fight and yeah, that was kind of a manifestation of that goal. You have Delphine, who is back and healthy for us and making such a clinical run and one that, you would run every day in training, and just so important to put that ball in the back of the net and just kind of show that grind and that grit that we were showing all game, that it comes with a result from it. Yeah. So what was
And
the
then
second question?
yeah, if you can just obviously take us through that moment and then pause and then after the game winner for Washington and just the emotion duality of those two.
Yeah. I mean, that is football for you. It's just don't love it when it happens back to back like that so quickly. Yeah, I mean, again, a game is a referee calls a game when they call a game. It's so important to play through the final whistle. We know this. And yeah, it's just there's not much you can do with a situation like that. I think that it really doesn't reflect the grind and the kind of, grit that we had to like go and pull ourselves back up and get us back into that game. And yeah, it's heart-wrenching to, feel that one. That one hurts.
And then lastly, in these tough moments, what is the message from Jonas to the team? And then is there any separate message or anything different messaging within the players, each other?
Yeah, I think as a collective from Jonas and from the players, it's a moment to recognize that, again, like I'd said before, the variables in which we came out there and fought for, it's the final minute of that, or the final second of that game, doesn't discard or discredit all of that leading up to that, and what we're really fighting for and what we're still fighting for. Um, and I think that's a strong message from Jonas and from the team. I'd say, I know, like after the game, like I look at a player like Kimmy and I looked at her and I just said, a year ago, the game you put out here today, you wouldn't be able to do that a year ago. And you have to remember that, like everything that you did and like the way you played the fight, the way you were brave to get the ball, you come out to DC and play a 1 o'clock game and like late in the season like this in October, and you grind like you do, like that's a Kimi today that can do that. And that there will be a moment in which we reflect back on this and we say, you know what, like we had moments like this to have great moments like that. And we have to believe in that. And I think that's a sentiment felt from Jonas and from the team.
Thank you so much. Safe travels.
Yeah, thank you.
Abraham, did you have one, or we can go to in person?
Yeah, thank you for the time, Kira. You mentioned fight and grit, and through seven tough results, how does this team maintain that mentality of wanting to still grind out these matches?
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And I think that's sports for you. And the reality is that that's our purpose right now. That's what we have to give that is the barrier of entry to win something in this league. And that just goes to a testament to how difficult this league is week in and week out. But at the same time, it's also a testament to how quickly tides can turn and things change and momentum is lost and momentum is got. And I think that having, going out and seeing these players every day and being a part of this program, it's inevitable that it goes our way. It comes for us. And like, that is what you have to believe in. Again, I believe that's the barrier of entry. Like if you're out on the pitch and you're out on the training field and you don't think like that, then what are you doing out there? And that's the biggest thing for us, is that we each and every single one of us continue to remind ourselves, like, it's a difficult league, but that is just the wind goes your way just as much of it as it doesn't.
Thank you.
Right.
I know you're putting up top, but just thinking about team defending and Kaylin's performance. Like I was looking at the advanced number, it was Spirits XP, which is like over 3. What does it say to you about this team's defensive skill and prevention skill that that you guys were able to hold it at 1-0 for so long?
Yeah. Kaylin, my God, I mean, every day I feel incredibly lucky. There are certain players that you feel very, very lucky to play on their team and play with. And Kaylin is definitely one of those players who reminds you every day of that. Today, phenomenal in every way, in every form. And I know that she is her toughest critic, and she'll take a lot of today on her own shoulders. But truly, like, between our back line and our keeper, I mean, when you go down early in a game, it's a very difficult road ahead. Like, right, you're already, it's early, momentum shifted, you're gonna be without the ball probably a bit more. And it's not an easy way to pick up a team and move them forward. But again, like, the way in which she performed, the way in which our defense was able to continue to fight forward, to continue to build attacks, to continue to take a quality DC offense and shut them down and continue to push forward. It relays forward to our midfield, into our front line, into the way we want to attack, and wanting to be just as clinical as they are for them. So I think the biggest thing for us is just we gotta retain enough. We gotta keep the ball from going in the back of the net, obviously, but especially in those like early moments and late moments, because everything in between is that grind and that grit and that quality and that clinicalness of our back line, that we want to make sure that, like, those little moments don't discredit all what was between. But yeah, Kaylin was phenomenal.
And last one for me, just thinking that depending on how the playoff season shuffles, there's a chance that a little for a month now it might be right back. What do you think, if looking at Spirit as like a potential playoff rematch, what do you think are the biggest vulnerabilities that you might be able to take advantage of if you get a replay here?
Yeah, I think that there's something particularly uneasy about playing a team multiple times in a season, especially a double, like if you're playing a team in a playoff again and you have games like this. I think that there is like, we could very much see this opponent again who reflects on this moment and thinks, oh, like, we had the XGs, we had them, we're good. Now we're in the playoffs, we're even better. But I think that there's an advantage to that as well, of remembering, like with us, of remembering how this feels and remembering the points left on this field, and knowing and believing that we'll be back here and we'll be thinking on, and we'll get those points, and we'll think on that moment back when we were sitting here today and on this game and thinking how we wish, and we will. And I think that's a very, very dangerous team, a mentality that a very strong and competitive mentality amongst a team. So yeah, I think that right now that's the fight. That's that feeling of knowing and it's not just, just the DC games. There are other games you think about, but reminding yourself of that deep feeling of, like, the what ifs, there's going to be that game here in the next few months that you turn them into we did. And so I think that's going to be a huge piece to, to potentially playing this team again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys online. See you next time. For hanging around. Tony, I can have you go first if you want to kick it off.
Yes, thank you. Jonas, thank you for your time. Could you take me through this matchup and just obviously the duality there towards the end of emotions and play, and how do you take this match today?
Sure. We're playing against a strong, tough opponent. I think to go into these games, 10 games unbeaten, now they're 11 games. So they're definitely been one of the stronger teams in the league here during during the fall, and especially at home, they're very strong. I think we definitely don't start the game as we want to do it. We are give too much space in our defense. We don't move the ball quick and crisp enough, and the goal is a result of that. But there are also other parts in the first half that we can do better. I think one thing that the players do really well is they show a lot of heart out there, especially in the second half. But even in the second half, we're poor in the decision making a couple of times, which leads to big transition moments for them. And there's really only one reason why we're still in the game, and that's Kaylin Sheridan, who's making some really big saves and big plays for us. Then, and that's really pleasing for me, is we keep believing and trying to find a way, and we score when we tie up the game in extra time. And of course, at that point, it's a result that we're really happy with, and we have fought a lot to get that result as well. And therefore, it's of course complete heartbreak to concede the second goal on the last kick of the game in the manner that we do it as well. So from an emotional perspective, that's of course really, really tough for us to take. And I think we all feel pretty drained after the game. But the important thing for us is to stay together here now. We have a really important game against Utah next weekend. If there's one thing we can't do is to dwell on mistakes, and we win together, we lose together, and said that to Kaylin after the game as well. I think she was the reason that we could still be in the game, that we can tie up the game. I think she did some incredible saves, some incredible big plays, and that's what we need to take with us. And it was also really good to have Delph back. Of course, both scoring a goal, but also being able to get minutes after her injury, and can build on that up till next week.
I'm gonna pause you. There's a in-person reporter that also wants to join.
Okay.
Oh. Never mind. I don't know where he went. He was outside. Okay, Tony, did you have another one? You could go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on that, on just
Sure.
with 3 games left here in the regular season, and you have the ingredients and components. Do you feel confident being able to still make that playoff push with the group that you have? And what is it going to take for those details to come together?
Hard work, of course, dedication, belief in what we are doing, and we need to take it one game at a time. Every game will present its own challenge and opportunities, and therefore now it's 100% focused to Utah next weekend.
And thank you for your time. Safe travel.
Thank you.
Yeah, Abraham, go ahead.
Hey Jonas, thank you for the time. You mentioned dwelling on mistakes. Do you think that's been an issue so far through this tough stretch in the past 7 games?
No, I don't think that. I think it's a group that is good at looking forward and understanding that the most important game is the next one, and the most important action is the next action as well. But it's really important that we keep that mindset.
And you mentioned the defense a little bit. How important do you think, or what issues have there been on the back line that have kind of led to a little bit more of this disorganization than we've seen in previous games?
Didn't quite get the question. Can you repeat it?
It seems there's been a bit more, the defense has been a bit more disorganized than we've seen in the past couple games, and compared to these last 2 games. What has been the issue there specifically with that back line?
I think for us, a back line is of course a unit, but defending sits together with the rest of the team, and there's a lot of factors that influence this, to be like, when do we lose the ball? Where do we lose the ball? Where does our defense starts from? How is our pressure on the ball ahead of the back line? Are we forced for defending players to step out at unnecessary times and therefore disorganizing. So it's a team thing. It's not only a backline thing. So it's a collective thing that we need to work on and be better on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
It's been out, but I will at least
Sure.
try something. Just thinking about being able to get that equalizer, but knowing that the Spirit have no shortage of sort of last moment equalizers of their own or go ahead goals. Like, just how much of a challenge do you think it is for the club to keep its attention up, keep its motivation up in those last few minutes to avoid something like the game winner that they scored?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a question to be like when you can see the goal there, it's hard to argue the opposite, but you can see on the goal, we're well organized on that situation. We have control over everything except the space in the goal. There is no free players there. We've taken up all players. It's the last kick of the game. So it's a tough one for us to take, but I don't think structurally that Spirit puts us in any problem there. It's an act in the moment that I get a lot of reward for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for joining and to try to track down a plan.